Alrighty, guys. So let's talk about this one quick second. So, Cartoon Network Studio is closing its door August 1st, which will be, God, in about next Tuesday. I'm doing this video on Wednesday because I want to put this out there before it comes out, or before they close it, excuse me. So I'm going to do three things in this video. I'm going to try to make it short and condense it and keep it on point. So three things I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk to you how I got into Cartoon Network, what's my first Cartoon Network studios I watched, and it'll probably be kind of obvious. And then I'm going to talk about why the network, Cartoon Network Studios, is closing, which I talked about before. And just give it my regards. So first one I saw was Dexter's. So there was three shows: Dexter's, Powerpuff Girls, and Johnny Bravo. Dexter was the first one I saw. Was the only one I saw anyway. Johnny Bravo and Powerpuff Girls went under Hanna-Barbera. If you notice, Powerpuff Girls, Johnny Bravo, and Dexter went through a transition where it went from a different form of animation to another form of animation, if that makes any sense. In the mid-late 2000s, not mid-late 2000s, but early 2000s, they went through a different form of animation. Let's say the animation tone got a little bit lighter. It's because they went to Warner Brothers Animation. Because Hanna-Barbera operation in the U.S. closed. I know the one in Europe is still going, but in the U.S. is closed. So that was another one. And Courage the Cowardly Dog was another one. Out of those shows, my favorite Cartoon Network studio show was probably Ed and Eddie. Dexter, I love Dexter. It was my first one, but it probably was Ed and Eddie. Second was Courage, then Johnny Bravo, then Dexter. In that order. Powerpuff Girls came in because, again, I was a kid. I was a boy. Wasn't really into Powerpuff Girls, whatever. But I didn't know how popular that show really was. But I'm just going to give you a few shows here that, the studio made and I think was just great. I already talked about Dexter's or Tajama or whatever. Samurai Jack, there's nothing else I need to say about that show. The show is a phenomenon and glad it got its proper ending. Even some people hate it. Whatever. Time Squad was a very underrated show. Grimm vs. Billy and Mandy, I don't need to say nothing more. That show is one of the most... Anybody can watch that show and get a laugh out of it. That's all I got to say. Whatever Happened to Robot Jones. Very underrated show. I remember watching that as a kid, waiting for new episodes. It was one of those shows that I enjoyed. Sheep in a Big City, very underrated show. All I remember is one of the generals grinding his teeth all the time, which disturbed the shit out of me. I was like, God, I hate that. Every time I'm playing, didn't go to Goella, so the Clone Wars, the 5-minute micro series one that Guinea did were great. Megas XOR, great. Foster Home for Imaginary Friends. Hi Hi, Puffy Harmony Yumi, Life and Time of Jennifer Lee, Camp Lazlo, Class of 3000, Ben 10, Generator Rex, Adventure Time, regular shows, Symbiotic Titan, Uncle Grandpa, Steven Universe, Clarence, Over the Garden Wall, which I found out that they're taking that show off HBO Max, but what's new? We Bear Bears, Long Live the Royals, The Pop, then we're not talking about the 2016 one, OKKO, Summer Camp Island, Victor and Valentino, Mao Mao, Hearts of Pure Heart, and Infinity Train, and Steven Universe, etc., etc. So, I just want to talk about that for a minute. Those shows, most of those shows I've seen, most of the shows I've reviewed on the channel. It's not all of them, but it's a sad day. The reason that this network is folding with Warner Bros. Animation, and this is where I'm gonna get most of y'all. I've been talking about Cartoon Network's downfall for years, not because I wanted to. Not because I found joy in it. It's because I love the channel and I love the studio for what they created. They have created top tier animation shows that we'll never see again. They have created shows that are lifetime achievements that we'll never see again. They have created shows that will live with us till we die, that these kids today would never have the fathom to even take into, even just see, unless we tell them where to go see it. They don't make shows like that no more. They don't make shows with care and love and consideration, because these people who were there, Kenny, Craig McCrack, and all these characters, they were there to make shows not for kids. They were there to make shows for everybody, and they worked. It got people in. Ted Turner made this network and made a juggernaut for years, for many, many years. Disney nor Nickelodeon could touch that network till the late 2000s. This was the most watched network for kids for years. A lot of that was due to Dragon Ball Z, and a lot of that was due to Toonami as well too. We won't take that away from them, but a lot of it also was due to these Cartoon Network original IPs that we won't see ever again. The problem with this network downfall was Christina Miller. I kept saying it back then, and I'm going to say it to this day. She is the main reason why this network is in the rubble it is now. She is the main reason why the studio is closing now. The Roundtable don't have to tell you shit, but I'm going to tell you what it is. Val 1984 or 94 or 95 doesn't need to tell you. I'm going to tell you. That's the main reason why this channel failed. People will say, well, Johnson, her hands... No, her hands was not motherfucking tied. Her hands were only tied once AT&T kind of got into that merger. That's when her hands were fucking tied. Before that, it was open field for her ass. She could have fixed the network. She chose not to. She passed on shows like Codename Kids Next Door as a sequel when Samurai Jack was doing the highest rated numbers back then. She passed on it a second time. Don't want to hear shit from her. From anybody else. The Roundtable kept defending her. I said, no, I'm not defending her. Other people kept calling her out too. Not just me. And I want to give those people credit too. They did. She put everything on a fucking app and decided, oh, the network's dying, so let's put everything on the app. Why? The only show that didn't go on the app was Teen Titans Go. That's it, and that's all. It was a travesty. A fucking travesty. Till somebody in a bright idea realized, why are we having all these separate apps? Let's put on one umbrella, because people will pay for one thing, one umbrella. Same with the DC Universe app, which was a dumb idea. Whoever thought that was a good idea was stupid as fuck. Why are you making all these apps? Nobody got the money to pay for that shit. Then they realized real hardly that they don't have a good fan base. No, they have a fan base under one umbrella. Stop having your fans pay for multiple shit. We're not doing that. But she killed the network for a fucking app. And I'll still say to this day, she killed the network. Not Stuart Snyder. Stuart Snyder saw the mistake he made. He was correct coursing it with those live action debacles he did. She came in and said, I'm going to save the network. And she actually killed the network. I heard people, and I had a source who was very close to the network. I would not reveal my source. Why? Because it's not right to do that. The person is still in the industry. So, at the time, I had a huge source about this. And this source straight up said, yes. She's doing yes. They're doing yes. And that's how I got all those sources. A lot of you subscribe to me. No, I was with those videos because I had my source tell me what was going on. Let's just say Johnson Daypool is well known through the network over there. Well, at that building before most of the people, a couple years ago, my name was thrown through there. They were trying to figure out how the fuck I'm knowing half of this shit. Some of it was obvious. Other stuff was plain and simple. Other stuff was told to me. Sabotage was another thing. The Teen Titans Go Marathon was fucking ridiculous. It was atrocious. Why? They were trying to make that show SpongeBob. The difference is SpongeBob has a broad appeal to not just a small demographic but a huge demographic. Teen Titans Go shut off the older demographic. Very subtle. SpongeBob, towards the late runs, did too, but I mean, my age group knows SpongeBob because it's been around since the 1990s. Teen Titans Go hasn't been around that long at that time. Now it's been around a little bit longer, but it's not been around like almost 20-something years like SpongeBob has. So SpongeBob's been around for almost 2 to 3 generations, if you really want to think about it. Close to it. Teen Titans Go, maybe 1 or 2. The Teen Titans Go movie bomb. That's another reason why this network kind of lost some money there, because they put money into it. A Teen Titans Go movie bomb. Let me tell you what my source told me. Heads was rolling. Execs were fired. Her ass was on a chopping block. That was in 2016, wasn't it, when that movie came out? Or was it 17? I'm not too sure. I think it was 17. She got fired in 2018. They already knew they were getting rid of her ass. She didn't leave on sabbatical. She got fired because she put so much money into this. With Johnson, it made its money back. No, sir. They were told they were going to told these executives, these board, these shareholders, this film was going to bring back $100 to $200 million. Yes, sir. That was not going to happen. Not with the lineup they had. The competition they fucking had. I think Mission Impossible came out around that time too. And fucking Incredibles 2 came out. Did you really think you were going to beat those two? Those idiots thought that at that time. Fucking Neanderthals are fucking fools. They were. Stevie Wonder blind ass could have told you that without looking at the fucking schedule, without you telling him looking at the fucking schedule, without you telling him, hey, look, this is what's on the schedule. And you know what? He would laugh. You're not going to get your money. For years, I said that. That was the downfall. David Zaslav coming in too. That's another one. He don't give 2 fucks about animation. Doesn't care for it. Doesn't need it. Animation costs money. He's trying to go bound on that anyway. The man's a businessman. He ain't a smart man, but he's a businessman. Do I think he's doing everything right? Absolutely fucking not. I'm an animation enthusiast. I love animation. He's dumb. But you know his track record. Axing, trying to make this company sellable to Universal. This company's getting sold again. But this time, it's getting sold with Warner Brothers and Discovery. Unless they sell DC for a couple billion, maybe. That's the only one I see them selling. Oh, people are like, oh, they're not going to sell. They're going to sell that too. My sources told me that's talked about a lot, especially after The Flash. So let me tell you something. Do I believe Cartoon Network Studio is going to be sold out? No, they're going to keep that property too. They're keeping it under one umbrella. You know why? Because they're about to sell this company too, under that one umbrella. All these IPs I just named, you're lucky enough to see them get another sequel or anything. If it ain't nothing name brand, household name like a Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry, you may not see nothing about that. Original IPs at Warner Brothers is over. The homegrown cartoons are gone. They closed that building to merge everybody together so they can get ready to sell off the company. Most people are already out of a job. This is even before the writer's strike. Or during the writer's strike or before it, one of the two. I'm not the person to say, I told you so, but I told you so. This would have never happened if Christina Miller would have done her fucking job and tried to make the network appealing to not just a Teen Titans Go fan base, but to every fucking body. You don't tell writers, you don't tell people, oh, we don't need the adults, the teens. How you think the show network was the #1 network for almost how many years before Hannah Montana and all these live action shows came through the works? How did you think a network was beating shows like Drake and Josh? How do you think shows was beating still beating around certain things? How do you think anime on a fucking Saturday night was beating most shows on a weekday? I'm not talking about Samurai Jack. I'm talking about fucking Naruto. How? You know why? Because the people there knew what the fuck they were doing. Christina Miller didn't know what the fuck she was doing. So don't come over here and tell me I'm wrong when you don't know what the shit was going on. I knew a lot. And it made me furious that I had to hear this constantly every week. The same shit. Like, what the fuck is she doing? And I called her out on it. Oh, I'm public enemy number one. I don't give a fuck. I'll be public enemy number one to make sure the truth gets out. She was not fit for the job. She let her emotion get the better of her. And where's she at now? Ain't nobody talking about her. You know why nobody talking about her? Because she didn't do her job. You know why people still talk about Stuart Snyder, right? Because he still brought in some shows. You know what show she's brought into? OKKO. That's good, right? Yeah. Okay, no one talks about it. But it did good things, right? Yeah, but nobody talks about it. Why you think Stuart Snyder didn't pick up that show but Steven Universe? Oh, hence he picked up Steven Universe. Oh, hence he picked up Adventure Time. Oh, hence he picked up Regular Show. 3 shows. Mind you, you say they get a sequel, there'll be fans waiting for that one. You don't see nothing against for OKKO. And I like OKKO. Market badly, came at the wrong time. Ain't she the one who also got rid of the 22-minute format shows? Got rid of Pokemon? Disney got that shit? Mind you, when Pokemon Go was the most popular thing on the fucking planet, you got rid of Pokemon. Are you fucking stupid? Dumbfoul, dumbass. She is. You got rid of Pokemon. You let the rights lapse because you said you couldn't afford it. Or you said we're not focusing on these type of shows no more. When Pokemon Go was the most popular thing. And before people said, oh, it was before the lapse. No. For my source told me, she already knew about it. She didn't care. Dummy. Dumbass. When she got rid of the 22-minute shows, everything. Let Ben 10 Omniverse air all through a Saturday morning. And you had no 22-minute shows left. And you had every show kind of had the same formula. Ninjago, wherever the show was told to go to a 15-minute or 10-minute format. Every show was following that format. When every show was looking the same, those ratings were plummeting. Plummeting the fuck down, man. People were ready to jump ship back then. They were like, we can't really do that. Every show is following the same formula. And it don't help, too, when your marathon Teen Titans go up the fucking ass. Well, John said they put it on the app so people can go to the app. They put it on the app so the show wouldn't get syndication. So people who worked on these shows wouldn't get fucking paid. That's why. Why do you think they air shows multiple times? The more time they air the show, the more money people get. You know those people who made Teen Titans Go? They're set for life. They are set for life. Because they are constantly airing that show. Marvel tops to them. Are they making any money? No. Are they making money like Friends? No. But they're making enough money where most shows on that network it's not. Guinea's making money because they still air Primal and Samurai Jack sometimes. More so Primal. He's fine. But they're not airing nobody else but Teen Titans Go. Once you learn about syndication, you know how good it is and you know how bad it is for people, how they want to screw over people. That's why this writer strike is happening now. Because there's no syndication. But people on Teen Titans Go, they're good. They've been syndicating that shit for almost 12-something years. So anyone who worked on the show is getting a fucking check. Any writer, any no-name artist is getting a fucking check. But people who worked on Steven Universe, people who worked on OKKO, all of them, no. If they do, they're probably running out now because the syndication, they're not still airing that. So when they aired it that year, most people stopped getting paid. Same with Adventure Time. Warner Bros. Did it before David Zaslav came in the picture anyway. So this is me talking about the Cartoon Network studios shutting down, but this is me also addressing the damn issue why it was shutting down and other stuff. I'm sad. I really am sad because original IPs, original ideas for Cartoon Network will no longer come through that channel no more. You're lucky enough to get any original IPs. All because a stupid ass lady wouldn't let her emotion calm her emotion out and listen to people around her. And she let idiots tell her what to do and let these idiots run this company to the ground. Some people who say they lost their jobs too, some of them I feel sad for, and others I don't. Because some of those people supported her through this endeavor. And here we are. Now you're saying I lost my job. Well, you would have kept your job if you would have went up to her and said, no, we need to do this, we need to do that. You didn't. Some of the people I know, some of the people I don't know. Personally, I don't care. And they can come to this channel and bash me all they want to. I don't care. I really don't. But I'm speaking the truth, and I've been speaking the truth for fucking years. Other people have not. The people at the round table, and this is me calling them out, they should have spoke up years ago. When you have bigger channels and you decide to play upon the popularity and want to get to these studios and go to Comic-Con and all this other bullshit. You ain't in Comic-Con this year. You ain't in Comic-Con this year, huh? Fuck that. I'm going to speak the truth. And I will always speak the truth, and you know why? Because that's my job. I've been speaking the truth on Cartoon Network for years. And people say, oh, he got no more sources now because he and this and that. No, because I was done. I was done because I already knew where the channel was going. Because I knew it because my source told me and exactly how I fucking thought. I knew the studio was going to get closed down. And then people making videos like, it's not shutting down, it's shutting the fuck down. I knew back then, I knew like I knew now. When you merge them together, that's never good in business. Look at fucking Disney, what they did with 20th Century Fox. Look at the signs of other studios doing this. So you have a brain, use it. This was never a good idea anyway. But like I said, I'm sad. There's no more original IPs. I'm kind of done with this anyway. As a Cartoon Network fan, this hurts me because I want more IPs like a Dexter, like a Johnny Bravo, like a Courage, like a Ed and Eddie, like a Powerpuff Girls, like a Foster, like a Codename Kids Next Door, like a Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. I want stuff like that. I really do. Because you know why? Because they push the boundaries of animation and cartoons that other networks won't do. The only show that come close for Disney is Gravity Falls. The only show that come close to Nickelodeon was Avatar, and it's not because of what they did. It's like the writing is more of for Avatar it was the writing and the storytelling. Gravity Falls was the writing and storytelling. But Cartoon Network, we got that all the time with their original IPs. Samurai Jack, Megas XR, Samurai Titan, Clone Wars, the micro series. We kept getting that. We were always getting stuff like that. Generator X, Ben 10. We were getting shows like that with those storytellers, those compelling stories. We always got that. Every year or every other year, we were getting that. Other networks weren't. They were copying us. Copying Cartoon Network. It was so fun. Now you look at it as it's not. It brings a tear to my eye. It does. Because this network made some terrible decisions. Stuart Snyder said what he wants about him. He tried to correct the mistakes he made. Granted, he made mistakes too that brought the network down with these live action shows, which he did. And I'm not going to just move away from what he did. But when you correct your mistakes, you admit when you're wrong, which you kind of did, then you need to understand, hey, people make mistakes. You tried something new because the networks were kicking your ass at something. Totally understand that. She tried nothing. She brought in these reboots, failed. Ben 10 failed. Powerpuff Girls failed. All of them failed. Then you expect me to feel sorry for this lady? You expect me to say, oh, I think this lady knows it. No. Say what you want about Stuart Snyder. Help putting Cartoon Network in the grave. Christina Miller buried, tombstone that shit in the ground. He put it in the coffin. She just put the dirt on it and tombstone the shit out of it. Some said Cartoon Network Studios died in 2023. The studio died in 2020. Its studio died in 2018. Yeah. You can say 2018. When that Teen Titans Go movie bombed, that's when that studio died. Right then and there. When people tell me it didn't bomb because it made its money back, yes, it did and it didn't. There's three things the studio needs to do. Make his budget back. You got to put in the budget. Let's say the movie costs $10 million. Okay, add extra $10 million for promotion. Okay, then add extra $5 on top of that here and there, and, stuff like that, advertisement, stuff like that. So you made back what? So the budget is like 25 to over 52 million you made. That's not good because you got paid the theaters, and they get like I think 50% or something like that. Then the shareholders who put investment money into this. That was the kicker. The shareholders. If they didn't get nothing back, it was a failure. Why do you think the Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans went straight to TV? That money they made back from that film and put it straight to TV. They wouldn't have done no big ass movie commercial in theaters so people could go watch it on TV. They did it so you could put it on TV. Not now. So, yeah. All right, guys. As always, like, subscribe, peace. Sorry, got a little dark here, but I'll talk to you guys later. I made this video long enough. This is the longest video I've done in a long time. 27 minutes. So, yeah.